There are new developments tonight in the shooting death of a former Marine killed by cops in White Plains who were there to answer the man's medical emergency. A tape recording now analyzed and now possibly identifying a second officer on the scene who used the N-word when talking to the victim. Here's investigative reporter Jim Hoffer.
When White Plains police responded to Kenneth Chamberlain's apartment last November, the 68-year-old's medical alert device recorded the entire hour-long fatal standoff. Now, an attorney for the family says a transcript of that recording identifies White Plains police officer Stephen Hart as the one who shouted out a racial slur before Chamberlain was shot and killed by another officer.
You hear tapping on the window, tap, 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 and he says, "Mr. Chamberlain, Mr. Chamberlain." Then you hear him tapping again, tap, tap, tap. "Mr. Chamberlain, Mr. Chamberlain, stop. We have to talk," and
the N-word.
The N-word, flat out.
Officer Stephen Hart is currently fighting allegations of police brutality in a civil lawsuit brought by this man, who says Hart used excessive force when arresting him outside this bar for disorderly conduct last January.
The police officer had grabbed me from behind, threw me on the ground, and just mashed my head against the ground about 4 times. And at the time, I just didn't move, and the only thing that I said, I didn't do anything.
He wasn't even charged with resisting arrest. There was no reason at all for this officer to break Mr. Murad's nose and cause the injuries which he did.
The disorderly conduct charges were dismissed. Court documents show Officer Hart denies all allegations of excessive force. Meanwhile, Officer Anthony Corelli, who fired the shots that killed Chamberlain, is also facing police brutality allegations in a 2008 civil lawsuit.
There's a problem here in White Plains with their police department. There's a real problem in supervision and training and discipline.
The family insists police had no reason to shoot their father. Police say Chamberlain threatened them with a knife. We've learned that early next week, Officer Corelli will testify before the grand jury in this case. His attorneys claim that evidence before the grand jury will prove that the shooting was justified. A decision on that is expected in a few weeks. In White Plains, Jim Hoffer, Channel 7 Eyewitness News.